I'm Danny the Guide, and are you ready for today's London snippet of history? Today we're going to talk about a museum. This museum is one of the greatest museums in London and has a motto of the world for the world. It seeks to educate about the world and its civilizations, and that is the British Museum. Now, it sits at the heart of Great Russell Street, which is in the Bloomsbury area. And the Bloomsbury area really came to life in the 17th century thanks to the efforts of the Earls of Southampton. And slowly but surely it became a mecca for culture and educational institutions. Now, the British Museum was founded in 1753 thanks to one man, Sir Hans Sloane. This is Sir Hans Sloane, the 18th century Irish physician that travelled the entire world, known world as it was. He collected little trinkets and curiosities on his travels, which turned into a vast collection of 71,000 items that included things like fossils, shoes, pipes, portraits, books, and many more other curiosities. And when he died in 1753, he bequeathed that collection to the British nation, creating the world's first national museum, which would be free to all those who were studious and curious. Thanks to Sir Hans Sloane, the spark of the nation was ignited, and suddenly we had to know about different cultures, and more people started collecting tiny little curiosities as well as big antiques. And suddenly they started to leave their collections to the British Museum. And so it expanded exponentially faster than anticipated. This is why, by the early 19th century, we needed a new building. This is the building that you currently see on Great Russell Street. It was built in a Greek revival style. See here the Ionic columns, much like the Parthenon temple in Greece. And it was built by an architect called Sir Robert Smuck between 1823 and 1847. Added at a later date in the pediment, this triangular feature on the top of the building, is a sculptural frieze depicting the progress of civilization by Royal Academy sculptor Richard Westmacott. And it starts from the left with the birth of ignorant man and travels to the right, where through the learning of science, art, literature, music, architecture, sculpture, painting, maths, geometry, astronomy, man can finally become civilized and dominate the animals and cultivate the land. So let's go inside and see what it looks like in Queen Elizabeth II's Great Court. The Great Court, as it's known today, spans 2 acres, making it one of the largest covered areas in Europe. That glass roof that you see on top has 3,312 panels of glass being held up by 800 tons of steel, and is the magnificent work of British architect Lord Norman Foster. So you might be wondering what's actually inside the British Museum that's worth exploring. Well, there are 65,000 items currently on display, and I cannot go through every single one of them, but I'm going to give you a little snippet to some of those that are worth coming to see in real life. Introducing the stone, the Rosetta Stone. This is the stone that became the key to the decipherment of the ancient hieroglyph writing system. An Anglo-Saxon helmet found in Suffolk that proved that the Dark Ages weren't so dark after all. These are the ceramic entourage that were found in Lu Tingjun's tomb, as he was a general in the Tang Dynasty, these proving his importance in China. This is one of many images of Shiva Nataraja, the Hindu god known as the Lord of the Dance. He is the force of destruction within Hinduism. This is a 16th century mosque lamp that would be hung from the ceiling, and you would put oil inside so you could read the Quran and pray to God, Allah, with the light. And this is part of a commissioned piece of modern history called Cradle to Grave by Pharmacopia in 2003. It explores how we in the Western world tackle life and death through the consumption of, on average, 14,000 prescribed pills in your lifetime. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and remember, it has only been a London snippet of history, but I hope it's intrigued you to find out more. Come to London and explore. I'm Danny the Guide. I wish you well, and please don't forget to share, like, or subscribe to the channel below.